Now I'm going to introduce our next couple of speakers who are going to take us further because someone I think Tafazwa, you literally started saying, is there risk? Let's talk about another element of risk here. Our next two speakers are Blessing Chinanga and Dotan Adeoye. Blessing works as a fraud investigator in London and has a passion for filmmaking, having produced 5 films for Mnet, Kwesa TV, and another channel out in Africa. Dotan is an innovation management expert with a game changing insight into product development, product innovation, and product management. He's been working in this field for over 25 years, and we're privileged to have these two great speakers giving us their wealth of knowledge today. Over to you, Blessing.
Greetings, people. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can see you now. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, my presentation is gonna be a little bit of I don't know if it's a wet blanket to to the the investment energy that a lot of us are going through right now, and that was a very amazing presentation, Emmanuel. Yeah, I think definitely investing in Dubai seems like a very good prospect. So just looking at what you were saying and what it really just tantalized my spirit to invest. But I'm going to be talking about fraud, guys. I'm going to be talking about fraud and what fraud is, what how your money can be stolen. So you've made your money and now you're thinking to yourself, how do I invest? Can I buy this? Can I do this with my money? Your money's sitting in your bank account. And now you're thinking to yourself, okay, what do I do with this money? And I just want to sort of highlight the certain challenges that we are potentially going through. And this is with fraud. So my presentation is based on your money and fraud. Yeah, so first things first, I guess we need to just define what exactly is fraud. What exactly is this thing called fraud? Fraud is defined as the wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. So this is some sort of manipulation happens, some sort of deception happens, and it's intended to result in financial or personal gain. And maybe a lot of us might not know this, but fraud is actually the number one crime in the UK. As things stand, apparently. So there's a lot of fraud going on. There's a lot of fraud that's continuously happening. And ironically, some of the criminals, they don't actually get caught. Most of the criminals don't get caught. I think about 70% of fraud cases, people just lose their money, or the criminals actually they don't get caught. The victims are actually the ones that are in trouble. So we are the victims, and yeah, I think it's a good topic. First of all, thank you, Tendai, for bringing me here, and thank you everyone for joining this panel. Um, and then the next chapter is the evolution of fraud. So fraud has evolved.
Blessing, sorry, I'm just going to stop you for a second.
Yeah,
Do
sure.
you need me to share your slide, or do you want to share your slide? Can you do it from there? You've got rights to do that if you have one.
I've got my slides on there, but then I don't know if I maybe you can share.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that as you. You can go on talking. And happy belated birthday for yesterday, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're still in high spirits. We're not stopping.
Awesome. So you can
Yeah,
go on and talk, and I'll share it in a minute.
sure, sure. So the first recorded instance of fraud was actually in 360 BC, and this was by a guy called Hedges Stratus. I had to try and pronounce that right. And basically, Hedges Stratus was a ship owner, and he committed what's called insurance fraud. He owned a ship, and then he pretended that the ship was loaded with corn, and he made the ship go to sail. It sailed on waters, and then he then brought the ship back, and he said that he actually planned for the ship to sink. So the ship sunk. He had his people that made this ship sink, and then he found a way to make. He then got back to shore alive, and he said that, oh, my ship sank, blah 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 blah, and because it was insured, it meant that he needed to get paid by the insurer. So he was paid his money for the ship itself and for the corn. So this is the first instance of fraud that was recorded in 360 BC. So fraud dates back into time, guys. It's not something that just happened, that's happening now, basically. But it's evolved over time. So in the 90s, the most common type of fraud was application fraud. And this is where when an account is open, using fake documents, and these fake documents are basically they're basically okay. I'm I'm just looking at the screen.
Don't worry, you should just keep talking.
So someone takes your documents. They steal your documents, and then they open an account that was used, and these accounts could be used to withdraw cash. They could be used to get credit. And this was the most common type of fraud, and this was in the 90s. But as things advanced, the Y2K period, where now we're using computers, everyone is excited. We're now using computers, and this saw a boom in identity fraud, where again, moving from the application fraud, now this was people were actually taking people's identities. Instead of making fake documents, these are actually using, so they take my identity, Blessing, and they actually apply for products and services online. And by 2004, it accounted to 40% of the fraud that was happening. But then again, and for some reason, the regulation or the governments, we then always catch up. They always play catch up to crime, because for some reason, crime is continuously advancing. With change in technology, change in environment, change in perspectives of people. So crime is continuously advancing. So in 2006, in the UK, there was the Fraud Act came into effect. I think 2006, 2007, thereabouts, and this was giving statutory definition of what an offense is, and defining it in 3 classes, and it defined fraud as false representation, the failure to disclose information, and the abuse of position. So anything that fell in line with these 3 classifications was deemed as fraud. So in the last 10 years, however, this has also advanced now, because there's a lot of changes that have happened. The number of people that are fraudulently abusing the bank accounts has doubled. And mostly the activities that we're seeing now are based on money laundering. There's a lot of money laundering that's happening, with the highest being this activity called money muling. This is where criminals can ask you, they can approach you and say, hey, Tendai, can we use your account? Can we use your account to receive money from somewhere? And then the money comes into your account, and then you then get a percentage of that money, and then it's moved to wherever that money is supposed to go. We see this a lot with young people. A lot of young people are approached because they're vulnerable. They just want money. There's a lot of peer pressure to buy designer clothes. So money muling is very prevalent amongst young people. And if this ever happens to you, and if someone approaches you, I think you should definitely stay away from that, because you will be part of a money laundering ring. And if these guys are caught, you might actually get a knock from the police. So, just stay away from that. Stay away from that. And now I'm going to move to fraud in the present. As you can see there, that is the Hush Puppy. I don't know if you guys heard about this. This guy called Hush Puppy is a prominent online Instagrammer, famous. He was always wearing designer clothes, Rolls Royces, flying private jets, and he looked like he was the guy, and we thought he had legit businesses, but he was actually involved in one of the biggest money laundering schemes, that were money laundering rings, and he was heading it, that have ever happened in the last 20 years. So yeah, Hush Papi was arrested in Dubai, and it was a big thing that actually made the press. It was all over the BBC, and obviously the Dubai police made a big deal out of this, because I think he had the total amount of money that he was involved in was around 300 million thereabouts, 300 million pounds, and that is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. So in the last 10 years, things have moved to advance in this stage, in terms of money laundering. But fraud of the present is a little bit different now. It could be your neighbor, it could be your someone at work. It could be because there's what are called authorized push payment scams, which are currently happening right now. This is when an account holder is tricked into making a payment to a fraudster. So this could be possibly someone advertises a car, on eBay. Someone is advertising a car on eBay, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, that looks like a very nice car. Then they ask you to make a payment or maybe a deposit first. And then you make that deposit. You don't know who this person is. You haven't verified where they stay, and you make this payment. Or this could be on eBay. It could be on Wish, Facebook Marketplace. That's a very prominent place. I investigate a lot of cases that come from Facebook Marketplace, where people are maybe advertising furniture or advertising PS5s, advertising gadgets, and it looks like a good deal, but most of these fraudsters are actually non-existent. The moment you make a payment, they instantly block you. And before you know it, it's done. You've got nowhere to report. You don't have anyone to talk to. You don't have anyone to say, hey, where's my money gone to? You call your bank, the money's left your account, and now you try to do a bank recall, but the money's already gone. So you can't recover these monies. So I would say, if ever you want to buy something online, verify and find a way to verify who is the source. Are they legit? Do they have a family? Do they, what kind of a person are they? Maybe you look on the friends, especially if you're buying from places like Facebook Marketplace. You look at, does he have friends? Some of these fraudsters, actually, they open fake accounts. So, that could be a good way to actually verify and see that, are they legit? Ask for their number, give them a call. Where do they stay? Get some sort of identification before you commit, to buying a car on online, that you haven't seen before. So these are people that are trying to take your money away. They're trying to make sure that, you don't get to reap the rewards of your hard-earned money. So, much as we're investing, let's be very cautious that there are other people out there that are literally waiting to pounce on the money that you've earned. The next type of fraud is social engineering. Social engineering is a bit different. It's an extremely targeted type of scam where fraudsters manipulate the victims to share confidential information. Have you ever received an email? I'm sure most of you have received an email where, there's someone that's asking to maybe they're actually saying that, you've won money, or we want to send you some money, please, can you send us your banking details? Can you send us your banking, some sort of banking details so that we can deposit this money? And you're seeing this money, and it's a lot of money. They're saying, it's 5 million was left by some Arab oil person in Dubai or in the Arab world, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, maybe it's my lucky day. No, it's not your lucky day. These guys are these guys are ready to pounce on your money. So that is social engineering. It's literally a manipulation. It can also happen through fake emails, phone calls. Sometimes you could receive a text that says, "Oh, you've won the lottery," and you haven't played the lottery, and now you're thinking to yourself, maybe I did, but you haven't played. And then you click on the link that you've clicked and you put in your details there. They're asking, maybe we need to send money to this specific account. These guys, after they've got your details, they can use your details to hack into your account through some next level software. And they can use your account details online to possibly they sell your account details. There are places on the dark web where people are selling bank account details. And what can happen with your bank details, you don't know. You don't know how far they can go. So anytime you see something or a text from somewhere that you're not expecting, there's a lot of HMRC fraud. HMRC, you've got, HMRC can send you can receive a text from the HMRC and you're thinking, this is the HMRC. No, it's not the HMRC. The HMRC sends letters. So I think, it's social engineering is very, it's borderline. Why it's so successful, why these fraudsters are so successful is that they play on the manipulation side of things. And that's where we get it wrong, because we're thinking, maybe it's my lucky day. It's not your lucky day. So stay away from that. Anytime you see something that looks suspicious and your gut is telling you that this does not look right, it most likely isn't right. So I just delete these texts. The moment I receive something like that, or an email, from some place that I don't know, and it's talking about exorbitant gains that I've never even thought about gaining, that I haven't gained from anywhere, don't click that link. They normally send like a link. They normally send, just a little link on there. You click on that link, before you know it, you're literally getting some sort of a hacking on your computer, and they've hacked into your details. They get confidential information. It could be your passwords. It could be your bank details. All these things. And nowadays they're cookies that we have on our computers. So these cookies, you just never know how far, you could have made a payment online. You just never know how far those cookies are, how much they have recorded in terms of your information. It could be your bank details down to the last, maybe your card details, even the last 3 digits, the back of your card, it could still be recorded amongst the cookies. So don't click on these links, guys. I'm just giving you a warning. This fraud is there. This fraud is happening, and a lot of people are losing a lot of money. So yeah, that's a warning from me. And then there's check fraud. Check fraud it's dwindling now, because not many people are using checks, but it's still there. People use counterfeit checks that are forged fraudulently, and it's like I said, it's still there. In 2017 in the UK, 9.8 million losses were made because of check fraud. So it is still there. And then there's romance fraud. This is an interesting one, because someone, you meet someone online and you're thinking, oh, okay, this is a good person. You start talking, and then someone, they could actually go for 3 to 6 months. Literally, they invest time into this relationship, and they get to know you. They tread on your emotions. They tread on who you are, and before you know it, this person that's just creates a little twist of a story. Oh, my dad passed away, and I'm so broke. I don't have money. They can create something that is so emotionally engaging. And because you've been talking to this person almost every day, and you've come to know them, and you're thinking to yourself that, they're probably legit. Maybe you're planning to meet in Cape Town. You're planning a little holiday, I'll meet you in Spain. Let's do a trip. Before you know it, you send money to this person. Maybe you could send $1,000 just to help out, to say, okay, you know what, I'm kind of falling for this girl. I'm kind of falling for this guy. yeah, let me help him out. And then because he's going to give me back this money anyway. So they really tread on the emotional side of people. And again, before you know it, this person is non-existent. They just, you know, yeah, they just fall from the from the earth. You never find them. So last, I think 2017, again, I'm just using stats from 2017 in Britain, 41 million pounds of losses were made to romance fraud. So victims are being caught. It's actually a very common fraud that's happening. One of the most common ones, investment scams. Investment scams are, again, these are very prominent nowadays because everyone is looking for money. Everyone is looking for ways to flip their money. We're all looking for ways to, okay, I've got 1,000. How can I make my 1,000 5,000? How can I make my 5,000 10,000? So most investment scams are generally phone based, and you might be targeted in other ways such as emails. People can come to your front door even and say, hey, have you heard of this? Although investment scams vary, the principle remains the same. You're encouraged to hand over money that you invest in a company or in a scheme that is non-existent. I mean, this is happening nowadays with a lot of cryptocurrency that is moving about. A lot of pyramid schemes are being created around crypto. There's some that are legit. I would say verify as much as you can because there are a lot of schemes that are out there. They could be based on Telegram. I even invested in one. Ironically, I invested in one, and it was an app based fraud, the investment fraud that happened on a Telegram platform where you put in your money and your money is doubling. Your money has a growth of, it doesn't double, has a growth of 1.4% daily. So, it was every day. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, if I put in 1,000 in literally a month, I would have a lot of money, because my money is literally compounded over a specific time. But these guys just, over time, people were not able to make withdrawals. People were not able to make, any withdrawals. And then they moved from Bitcoin to Ethereum. So there are a lot of these that are going on, and I would say verify as much as you can, because these are the new, and I'm going to talk about that fraud in the future. I literally jumped my gun there because that's the next slide, but these are the next level of fraud that is happening now, where there's a lot of cryptocurrency. Oh, right, my time is almost gone. Okay, time is moving. Right, let me move to safe account scams. These are very common. So someone can contact you and say, look, right now, you think it's the bank. So you think it's Barclays Bank, you think it's HSBC. They can contact you and say, look, your account has been hacked. We need you to move your funds right now, right away. It could be a phone call. Sometimes it could be through an email, but largely these guys call you. And once they call you, you think that, it's legit. You think it's the bank. And they even read out your information. Is this Mr. Chinanga? Is your bank account blah, blah, blah? Is your sort code blah, blah, blah? We need to move your funds now because your account has been hacked. We're going to give you what's called a safe account, and we need you to move these funds there. Once you've moved these funds there, you've literally handed over your funds to someone else. And I would say that, if ever you receive a call like that, immediately just stop, cut the phone, and call your bank, because that is not the bank that is calling. The bank literally never does that. They never call you for something like that. So call your bank and say, look, I've received a call that's ABCD, and apparently, and that's the thing, that when these guys call you, they make it such a rushed thing that they tread on your emotions so much that you think that, this is a big deal. And before you know it, you've moved your funds from where your funds are supposed to be to somewhere you've handed over your funds, and now your bank is going to have to try and recover those funds from that person that you've sent those funds to. And sometimes it could be another bank. So they need to contact another bank. As we know, this could take 5 to 10 working days. And before you know it, this money has been withdrawn. And before you know it, your money is gone. So, anytime you receive a call or something like that, where someone says, look, you need to move your funds right now, just slow down and think to yourself, is this the bank? Maybe I should stop and call the bank. You've got your bank's number. You've got your bank. You can call the bank directly. Just look online. If it's Barclays, HSBC, call them directly and get the word from them. Don't get it from someone that has called you. So if it's incoming, you don't know where it's coming from. So if it's incoming, just be alert for that, because normally it's someone that's literally out there to take your money, and you could be a victim of financial crime. I will skip to fraud in the future. There are also computer software scams as well. Again, these are largely through emails. People send an email, and then there's a little hack that happens. There's a compromise. These guys can compromise your internet banking. They can compromise your even any other software that you've got. They could actually compromise your social media as well, and go on your social media and be able to post whatever they want to post. So this is very prevalent. I would say watch out for that. Just don't click anything that you see. If you see an email that doesn't look right, don't click it. Don't click on any links that are funny. Just stay away from that. Just delete that email, because you could be a victim of fraud. It might not be financial crime, but it could actually be something even more serious, because they can hack you and actually hack your friends. They're going to start asking for money from your friends on your behalf. Like, this happens a lot, so I'd say stay away from that. Then fraud in the future. Again, I spoke about cryptocurrency fraud. This is going to be a big deal, as a lot of people are getting on this wave of Bitcoin. There are ways now people are looking at hacking into crypto wallets. So someone can actually hack into your wallet, and once they have hacked into your wallet, they've got access to your account. So if you trade on your phone, have so many verification layers on your phone. So you could have a passcode, you could have what's called a Google Authenticator. This can allow you to get a passcode from Google before you get into your account. So, try as much as you can to put security on any devices that have access to your cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency coins, whatever it is that you're holding. There's also the use of AI. This is becoming big now, because AI is artificial intelligence, for those that don't know. And basically, artificial intelligence, this is where someone can actually, they can read your face. So like, you guys are looking at me, you can look at my face, put a digital print of my face, and be able to use that digital print elsewhere and pretend like you are me. So this is going to be this is the new way of fraud. It's not yet prevalent, because not a lot of people know how to do it. But best believe this is going to be a way that fraud in the future will be dealt and done with. I think I'm 3 minutes over, but I think I might have tried to exhaust as much as I can. But in a nutshell, I would just say that be wary of where your money is. Be wary of where your money is, and be wary of how you move your money. Have as much security as you can with where you've put your money, and make sure that you don't just leave your bank details everywhere. Make sure you don't leave your information, your identity everywhere. So this is my presentation, and thank you so much, Tendai,
Gosh,
for
my goodness, that really touched a lot of soft spots. That was fantastic. Thank you for sounding that alarm bell. I know a lot of people who've gone through financial trauma, devastation. It literally feels when someone invades your space, and sometimes you feel stupid,
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like a fool, because
yeah,
it's like, I should have known, especially when that romance fraud, you
Hmm.
think you're loved. It's a mess.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's gone through that or knows someone who's gone through that, last night we had a session of worship and we invited God, and there were specific prayers for people who have gone through there was a lot of healing flowing last night. So I'm gonna put it in the group, play that, because yeah, you need some sort of therapy after going through that, because you're probably pretty nervous now to do anything. So thank you so much for giving us that understanding on how to protect our money and not to get too excited. I laughed when you said, "Oh, I think I might have played the lottery." It's greed, isn't it? They feed on greed. So
Yeah.
when we come back to our relationship with money, it's time to review that. Am I greedy? I'm always looking for get rich quick.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna play on that.
Yeah.
They're gonna get me. So just have a sound mind regarding finances. Be patient. So thank you so much for that. I don't know if anyone else has questions. I'll get this one from Kuzai, who says, "What can I do if I receive a parcel I never ordered and it's not even in my official name that I use for purchases, and there's no receipt or invoice enclosed? The postal address is on the package is of a storage place in London. There's no website to even look up. All I have is the postal address on the package." You're very good. You
Wow.
didn't open it straight away. Most people are like, "Oh, parcel."
I would have opened it up, and I'm thinking that maybe it's a gift, maybe it's God who's who's
Blessed me. I was always looking for blessings.
always looking for blessings. Yeah, I would
Oh,
say for
jeez.
someone like that, in a situation like that, I would try as much as I can to not handle that package with my direct hands. Put on gloves. Be as safe as you can, because you don't know what's in that package. So just put it in a plastic, and possibly just take it to the post office if you even have the energy. If you don't have the energy, I would say even go as further as bin it, because it's not yours. So, and you don't know what's in there. So it could be something dangerous. It could be something, maybe it could be a gun. You never know what's actually in the package until you open it. There's poisonous powders that could be put in things. I mean, there's all sorts of things that could go wrong. So I would say don't tread on that thing where you're thinking, oh, this is my day. No, no, no. you know,
Oh,
if
wow.
you're not expecting something, just let it go, and actually know. Maybe ask your friends, did you send me something? Did you send me something? If no one has said anything, just
Someone
step,
said drop at the police station. That might be a good thing, actually. Yeah.
you
So,
drop it off to the police station.
yeah,
That's
they can
that's a good
investigate. Yeah.
exactly.
And someone says, you mentioned cookies. Should we always accept the cookies?
See, that's the thing about cookies, that most of these websites, they want you to accept the cookies so that they can be able to advertise and actually see your consumer trends. They would want to share your details safely to third party companies, who would then be able to advertise to you, based on your searches online. So this is why these cookies things are such a big deal right now. So most of these companies, some of them, you can't go on the website unless you accept the cookies. So yes, accept, but then at the same time, you could always just delete and clear cookies. You could do it once a week. You could do it, maybe once a month, where you just refresh your browser history, and you clear it up. Because yeah, it's getting deeper now, as the Internet of Things are getting further on in the technological wave.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Blessing. I know we're overlapping and I don't want to keep our next speaker waiting.
Sure.
I'm going to thank you so much. That was so informative and such a blessing. I hope our eyes of understanding are being opened, and safeguarding our hard earned money, because I know a lot of you work really hard to build up those savings. Don't give them away to the thieves out there who have come disguised in different formats.